Welcome back. Here's a rundown of how we did the pound sandbags. This has a couple components and techniques that are pretty handy, pretty helpful. It's going to help you with manipulating these objects. These are just the mock-ups I sent you just as an example. So we're going to recreate these. When I first did them, I did this one first. And then I made this one from this one. So we're going to do that. We're going to follow these steps too. We've already got the right size. We're not going to be using CMYK colors because the only colors we're going to use is black. Too easy. Suede is always lighter, so darken it, and we will darken the suede. I'll show you that too, how you do that, because this is going to be a little different. It's not going to be with the lighten and darken part here. It's going to be gamma. It's called gamma, and I don't know if your Vinyl Master has it. That's why I highly recommend upgrading to DSR, which lets you do regular picture editing. Okay, I went on Shutterstock.com. Highly recommend getting a subscription, even the $30 one a month. You get 10 downloads. Super handy, and you can even, well, let's just pull it up. I'll show you some neat stuff you can do. Oh, that's a nice picture. Let's do this one. Any of them. Okay, here's what's neat about it. This is a regular picture. It's a JPEG. It tells you all the info here. Maybe I don't want to buy it. I just want to try it out. I can try it out. So there, I just downloaded the photo. I'm going to drag it into Vinyl Master. And I can try this out. Forget about the watermarks. If you're not sure if your customer or client wants this particular image, I did this with you a lot, most of the time. If you've ever seen, I do it a lot with a lot of people. Instead of buying the image or using one of my downloads credits, I'll just try it out and tell them that the watermarks will be gone, and I'll remake the bag with the right image. But that's how you do that. Okay, so I found the desert camo. This one I liked a lot. Just going to drag it over. Came in as an 8.3 inch square, so I want to make it a 7 inch square. Boom, 7. And while this aspect ratio is locked, these two will always move in the same way. So let's get it in its spot, right where it belongs. Center it up. Always be centering. And copy, paste, Control C, Control V, nudge it down, arrow keys, or set. And another, like a design like this, a pattern like this, when you get it on the suede side and they're identical, take the image, go to arrange, mirror and rotate, and make it mirror horizontally. Boom. See how it flipped over? That's how I get sides to line up. Like if there's a diagonal line, the diagonal line would line up on the same side when I flip the bag inside out. It's not the best way of explaining it, but it's a mirror. It makes it a mirror image, and then the sides line up, like the ruffle flags that I do. Sometimes I might do a continuous, but you see how it's a mirror? And if I arrange it horizontally, this is not a continuous design, or is it? Yeah, it is continuous. Way to go. So this one you could step and repeat over and over, but we don't want to do that. We want it mirrored. That way the sides line up. Always looks kind of neat. It's a neat effect. All right, where were we? Darkening the suede for a regular JPEG or bitmap or PNG image. I'm going to go to Images, Adjust, Gamma Correction, and I'm going to bump it up 10%. See, I got a little darker. And with these being lighter colors, I might go one more. So now this is darker. It's going to lay down a darker ink combination. And that helps offset the lightness of the suede. Because this always comes out lighter. And I always try to make these two match. In fact, it's not always a bad idea to lighten the fabric side. Not too much. That's too much, I think. I think minus 5% is fine. But it is good to get nice color. I think that would look good. Okay, pound sand. I like to do two different objects. An object is this word, pound. And I'll make a new one for sand. You can select them both to change the fonts at the same time. All I did was click, drag. I don't know what your level is with Vinyl Master or design in general. But I'm going to go to the font library, all fonts. I already know which font it is. It was called Stencil. If I'm scrolling, I'll hit the letter S. It goes to the S's. Stencil, there we go. To get these lined up how they are now, like right there, I'll just kind of, I want to get the right distance apart, like there. I don't care if it's centered or not, because I'm going to have the computer do that. I'll go to over here in the tools menu. You got a drop down, a lot of important stuff here. Align, space, and distribute. I'm going to click the pound sand, shift clicked sand. Now the two objects are one. They're technically grouped, and this will align the objects to each other. I want to center them on each other. Now they're centered on each other. After I do that, I like to right click it, group, and now this is always one object. It'll move together. So try to just eyeball that in the center. Of course, you can align it to the center of the page. Helps out. And we'll go to the wireframe mode again, just to see where we're at. I'm not going to bring the colors forward, and just kind of shift click on the corner and see where we want to go. I had it pretty tight to the edge. If you bring it that tight, in fact, let's get that stuff up there. Click the green, bring it to the front, and go back to solid color. The closer you get to this line, the more the edge is going to curve over, because this is where the bag starts to curve, like right about here, because it's full. I can't see my things. It's camouflaged. So if I went right to the edge like this, first of all, you're running the risk of me not sewing it perfectly. I give myself like a, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or less margin of error. Probably definitely not an 1/8, more like a 1/16 for sewing. I can go either way, so I try to do it pretty quick when I sew. So like right about there, the edge of the D will start to curve over. It'll look fine, just how this one was. And I like where it's at overall. It's pretty well centered in the middle, up and down. Pardon me. Oh. Alright, let's copy paste that. Control C. Nudge it down. Right about the same spot. And boom, that one's ready to go. You send me that file, and you got a bag ready to go. Now, how do we get the camo to be the letters? Not too hard. What we're going to do is put a black layer in between the text and the camo. Now, black on black, I'm not going to be able to see, so oh, I think I got a weird piece of M&M. Alright, I'm going to click the black text and make it white, just so it's going to be easier to see when we get the black background. So let's just make a square, arrow key, unlock the aspect ratio. I want it to be 7:14, which is my print area. I'm going to use the align, space, and distribute tools to center it horizontally and vertically. Then we're going to go to order and send it back a couple layers to get it behind the text. Back one, back one. And after you do it, a back one twice in a row or a forward one, it just stays up, so you can keep clicking. Pound sand. Alright, here's the important part. This is how the layers are right now. We have camo, and then black, and then text. Well, I'm just gonna move this green stuff out of the way entirely so it doesn't throw us off, because technically I'm not right. Okay, now we have camo, black, text. Even though it's stacked, the text is on top, black is in the middle. We got a sandwich here. In order to get the camo to show through the text, we have to remove some of the black where the text is. And to do that, we're going to use this tool called Punch Out. And what that does, it's like a hole puncher. It's going to punch a hole on whatever, like if I choose the text and I choose the black, since the text is on top of the black, it's going to punch a hole through the black and leave it open, if that makes sense. But to do that, we have to take this object and this object. They're two. Now they're one. We're going to make them one by grouping them. So we got one single object. It doesn't do more than two objects at once, so you have to do it with two objects. Object being this, and the other object being the black. I'm going to choose the sand. I'm going to choose the black with shift click. I have both those selected. And then I choose Punch Out. Boom. So the program took the text, punched it out of the black, and now the camo shows through in the gaping hole where the text was. And that is that to get text to come through a pattern. Not so bad. I don't need to save it. It's no point in saving it. But you get the idea. What's this video at right now? 11 minutes. We'll keep it short. If you want to see another example, let me know. And if you have any questions on the designs you want to do, just ask or send what you got and where you're stuck, and I'll record a video of me finishing it, and then you'll see the steps that I'm taking and whatever creative process we got to use to get there. So, thank you for watching. I am going to end the video now.